What's going on, guys? Winter Kills here, and welcome to a brand new test hand video. It's going to be a bit of a test hand slash combo video. I want to start off by showing you guys the main combo with Draconet and pure Mekk-Knight, and then after that we'll run through some test hands with you guys and just play through the deck normally. We'll do a majority of going first test hands because I really want to look at and test this deck's viability going first, and then maybe we'll do some going second test hands where our opponent will have one card minimum for us to work with for columns. And also, real quick, check out Imperium Duelist, guys. That is where this playmat is from, and the sleeves that I am using, and all the sleeves and playmats that I always use in all my videos, all from Imperium Duelist, the wondrous sponsor of this channel. You can check out a link to their website down in the description below. Check them out, head over there, see all the stuff they got. They got tons of cool stuff: dice, playmats, sleeves, calculator cases, shirts, lots of awesome stuff, and more to come in the future. And there's that discount code you can use at checkout as well to save 10% off your entire order. So yeah, without further ado, we'll get into this video. Like I said, I want to start by showing you guys the basic combo. And first and foremost, we will need one purple Nightfall, ideally, and one copy of Draconet. This could be done with any other Mekk-Knight, but I'm just going to show you the most optimal one. So we'll start with a copy of Draconet. And Draconet, as expected, will summon out that copy of Crowned by the World Chalice. Now, I should have uploaded the deck profile of this already. So if you haven't seen the updated deck profile for this deck, it will be annotated up here in the top right, or there'll be an annotation to it at the end of the video you can click on if you guys want to go see that updated profile if you haven't already. So now, once Draconet resolves summoning the Crown by the World Chalice, we'll go ahead and link that away to summon our copy of Ib, the World Chalice Justiciar, and on the summon of that, we will add any World Legacy card from our deck to our hand. So we'll add a copy of World Legacy Secrets, and we'll be able to set this card here, giving us a column at a very minimum of just one column to work with. We'll summon the purple Nightfall. We'll banish that to add any Mekk-Knight. We'll add Indigo Eclipse. We'll special summon Indigo Eclipse. Ideally, you do want to add Indigo Eclipse here because you want to just get him into the graveyard for the secrets that we're setting up. And then we'll go into a copy of Morningstar. We'll activate the copy of Ib. Now, normally, let's say we had a full hand. Let's say we have another Mekk-Knight card in our hand. We want to use Ib here, but we do not want to use Morningstar because we want to wait to have a proper discard target for Morningstar, so we don't have to get rid of any other cards in our hand that we don't need to. So we're going to summon Lee the World Chalice Fairy off of this, and then Lee the World Chalice Fairy will add us World Legacy World Chalice upon his summon. Then we will link these two away for another copy of Mekk-Knight of the Morningstar. Now we will use his effect to be able to grab another World Legacy card from our deck to our hand, and here we will grab World Legacy Whispers. So off of 2 cards, we now have 3, essentially 4 cards to work with here. So we've definitely gone plus big time. Purple Nightfall coming back in our next standby phase for another search, and we have the ability to negate spells and traps at our own will. We could have grabbed a copy of Memory here for the 4 monster negations if we wanted it. Just such a strong opening off of 2 cards. So there's that little combo I wanted to show you guys. And now we'll get into the test hands. So I'm going to go ahead and pile shuffle real quick, and we'll get started with our first test hand. Alright, so I'm all shuffled up, and I also just realized one thing, that the last test hand video we did for this, I believe it was on June 13th, and just watching through that video real quick before I got started, I have made quite a few changes. As you guys saw in the deck profile, a lot of the cards I was drawing and opening that deck profile, or that test hand video, are not in this deck, so hopefully we'll see some more consistent openings and things like that. And what do you know, we draw the World Chalice monster turn 1. That's pretty unlucky, but this hand is actually still pretty good for going first, despite opening the Crown by the World Chalice. That's why we have Ibly to sort of save the day. We'll start by normaling the Ibly, and then we'll link that right into a copy of Mermaid. We'll go ahead and give them the Ibly on the other side of their field. I'll just sort of move that down a little bit so you guys can see Mermaid and Ibly. So now, once that is all said and done, we'll have to start by playing Memory, and Memory isn't going to affect us pretty much for the rest of this turn, because we've already gotten our non-Mekk-Knight sort of special summons out of the way. Summon out the Indigo, use his effect to grab a Blue Sky. Summon out Blue Sky, activate his effect to grab a copy of the Indigo. So as you can see, this hand is already starting off very, very strong, even though we didn't open up most optimally. Now we will link away the Mermaid and the blue sky. And also one thing to point out is that if we open Timeaton here, let's say this was Timeaton, we have 3 cards in the same column right here. So we could special Timeaton over here, ideally put them in attack. So once we link these away, our opponent can only special summon link monsters, and they don't have access to their extra monster zone. So it'd be a pretty strong lock. We didn't open up Timeaton, but that is a thing that you can pull off. So now we will make Morningstar with the Mermaid and the Blue Sky. Use Morningstar to discard Indigo to add a copy of... Really, it depends on what we're playing against here, what we'd want to grab. But we already have Secrets in hand, so we can grab Legacy Whispers. If the deck we're playing against no is going to be relying on more monster effects to go through, let's say we're playing against a deck like Thunder Dragon or, you know, Crusadias or Mermail or whatever it may be, we could just add another copy of Memory here. And we can pretty much have 4 monster negates without even resolving these 2 other cards in our hand. We just set these, we go to them, they activate a monster effect, we bring this out, it's negated, they move it, they have something else in a different column, we negate it, we play this. When they summon a new monster to try to activate this effect, we go for another Indigo, that's negated, they have something else, move it over, negate it again, because Indigo's move effect is not a hard once per turn. It's not even a once per turn. It's, or what is once per turn, but it's not a hard once per turn. It's such a strong card in multiples. And then our purple coming back next turn with still having a Monster Reborn in our hand. So we can pretty much skill drain, one-sided skill drain our whole opponent with that hand, and you know, give them the Ibli as well, which they're going to have a hard time dealing with too. So that's it for that test hand, and we'll go ahead and shuffle it up here real quick and draw into another one. Alright, I'm all shuffled here. We'll go ahead and draw into our second test hand of the video, opening Red Moon, World Chalice, Indigo, Instant Fusion, and a copy of Cyanide Mine. This hand was looking grim to start, but it is going to be a banger of a hand. Now, this is where having Millennium Eyes Restrict, like I talked about in the deck profile, would be very helpful, because we could Millennium Eyes Restrict and pretty much guarantee protect the Cyanide Mining, but I'm a little too poor to afford that Millennium Eyes Restrict at the moment. But, you know, that is something to look forward to in the future, I guess. So we'll start with Cyanide Mining, and we will discard the Indigo Eclipse here, because putting Indigo in the Indigo Eclipse in the graveyard isn't going to hurt us too much. It's actually going to help us later on. So now we'll go ahead and grab the Draco Net, and this is also going to be the start of that combo I showed you guys at the beginning of the video. And I showed you how it works with Purple Nightfall, but ideally you don't need Purple Nightfall. It's just the most optimal one to get. So we'll start with Draco Net for our normal summon, special summoning Crowned by the World Chalice. And then we'll go ahead and synchro these into a copy of Ib, the World Chalice Justiciar. Activating that effect, we'll go ahead and grab a copy of World Legacy Secrets. And like I said, if you already open World Legacy Secrets, it's just better just because you have, you know, any other card to go and grab instead. So we'll set that to create our column. We'll special summon the Red Moon. We'll link these into the Morning Star. We will activate the effect of Ib here, and we'll go ahead and summon out the Lee, the World Chalice Fairy, just like that. And we won't use the Morning Star here because we just want to get the Lee off the field, so we don't have to worry about having a non-Mekk-Knight monster on the board, because that's a zone where they can, you know, use as a safe haven to be able to resolve their effects, which we don't want. And here we grabbed the Memory last time. This time we'll grab the Whispers so we can negate spells and traps. We already have the Indigo set up in Grave and still have an Instant Fusion in hand for next turn if we need it. And we also have a guaranteed search next turn of any World Legacy card in our deck. And we're top decking a Memory for turn, which is really, really strong, and having that double negate setup. So another very good consistent opening there from pure Mekk-Knight, as well as in addition to it being a going first hand too. So showing the versatility that Mekk-Knights doesn't really need to go second as a pure build to be effective, even with that column restriction. So I'm going to do a quick pile shuffle here again, and then we'll go right into another test hand. All right, so a pile shuffled real fast, and one other thing I was thinking about just as I was shuffling there is maybe adding in a second copy of World Legacy's Whispers wouldn't be too bad, because just in general, sometimes hard drawing those traps and stuff is really, really strong, because like it just allows you to grab even more stuff. Like setting up ideally with Whispers, Secret, and Memory would just be the ideal like first turn lockdown. Like they need multiple spell trap removal cards to be able to clear that field, because even if they do start with Twin, we can just chain everything and just negate the twins. Even if they have a secondary, well they'd have to have a secondary Twin Twister or a Cosmic Cyclone or something to be able to sort of break that that board. So very unlikely for our opponent to break that without some sort of heavy side decking. So we'll draw into our opening hand here. We open Whispers, Red Moon, Nightfall, Instant Fusion, and Call by the Grave. So this hand is still very viable for going first because we opened that Instant Fusion, like I said in the profile, good going first and second. So we will Instant Fusion out for a copy of Thousand Eyes Restrict. We'll just link that away into a copy of the, where is he? That pesky Link Karibo. Where did he go? That. Now, ideally, I like just linking into the Link Karibo here because later you can succession back the Thousand Eyes and then tribute away for Link Karibo again if need be. Like, you don't have to link into Link Karibo here, but I sort of like just doing it anyways. And then we'll set the Whispers. We'll keep the Called By in our hand. We'll special this. Add a copy of Indigo. Find them. Special the Red Moon here. Link these two into a copy of Morning Star. Use his effect. Discard. And then we'll add a copy of Secret. So just like that, another way to get to this board, not as efficient, but like still being able to pull this off. And even if we were going second, we'd have a way to bait out a monster negation as well. And also if we were going second here, we don't even need to add this. We could add another, we could add a copy of Succession and bring this back, use this effect again to possibly bait out another effect because they will have to use it or lose it. So we'll set and we will set. So setting here with the Whispers, the Secrets, and a Called by the Grave while having an Indigo in our graveyard as well. Oh, and this Purple Nightfall should be banished. So we have that coming back next turn, which is really, really awesome. So another pretty solid going first test hand there for the pure Mekk-Knight deck. We'll do another going first hand, and then maybe one or two going second hands after this. I'm just going to go ahead and pile shuffle again real fast. And we'll get into another one. All right, so shuffling the deck up here just quickly before I go ahead and draw into the next hand. We'll cut the deck and see what we draw into. One copy of Key, a copy of Draconet, a copy of Impermanence, a copy of Secrets, and a copy of Called by the Grave. So this hand is... it's weird, right? We open the Draconet, but we have no Mekk-Knight. So how do we deal with this? How do we make this work? So all is not lost if you do open Draconet with no Mekk-Knight. So we'll start with the Draconet, and also keep in mind going second we have an interruption as well, and if we go second we would be drawing into the Crown, but it doesn't matter because this can special summon from deck or hand, thankfully. I wish it could summon from graveyard too, but unfortunately it's not that great. Draconet, and we know what their next card is going to be, so we'll just go for that. And Ib is such a powerful card, it'll allow us to search any World Legacy card. So this means we can grab a card known as Memory. We can grab Memory. We can activate Memory right here and go for Purple Nightfall. Then Purple Nightfall will grab us any other Mekk-Knight. Do that, add Indigo Eclipse, like this. Now, let's say we didn't want to discard our Indigo Eclipse. What else could we do here? We already opened the World Legacy Key, so what we could do is set this special, link these two into Morningstar. We will not get the effect of the Ib because we are under Memory, or what we could do is just activate this, add this back, then special summon these, go for a Morningstar. Now otherwise here we would have to be forced to discard the Secrets, but Key is being able to add this back, so we can discard the Key instead and add a copy of Whispers or Succession or whatever it may be. So with having that being done, we lose out on the Ib effect, but that's fine because we already drew Whispers, Secrets, Impermanence, and Called by the Grave. So we're setting 4 with the Key up, so next turn if they have a card like Evenly Matched, we can simply negate it by going like Secrets, bringing out the Indigo Eclipse, playing with this whatever column the Evenly Matches in, and since we control Key, we can negate any trap that tries to activate in the same column as a Mekk-Knight. We also have the Impermanence, we also have the Whispers, and who could forget the lovely Called by the Grave. So that is it for that one. All these test hands so far are being pretty consistent. I haven't drawn into any brick hands yet. Hopefully I don't get cursed next turn and draw like triple Draconet and just some other really bad cards. Even triple Draconet wouldn't be too bad so long as we draw a Purple Nightfall as like our 4th or 5th card. I'd be pretty happy with that. I'm not going to pile shuffle here. I'm going to sort of take the gamble and just, you know, raw, uncut, draw into our next hand right away here. Gonna shuffle the deck a few more times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One more shuffle for good luck. And let's just draw right now. Draconet, Memory, Timeaton, Corruptor Ibly, and Indigo Eclipse. So this hand is actually really interesting. We might actually get to pull off that sort of soft lock with Timeaton and Ibly, which we might as well do then, I guess. So we'll start by normal. Yeah, we don't even need to use the Draconet here. We can just use this as a follow-up for turn 3. So we'll start with Ibly, and normal the Ibly, and link in to Mermaid. And I love opening the Ibly with Memory. All right, so my memory card, or my camera's clip ran out of time, so I have to sort of restart this hand. I already played through the whole thing, but just realized that it wasn't recording while I was doing it. So as I was saying, I like Memory because it doesn't, like, especially when you open Ibly, because it doesn't punish you too much, because you do all your non-Mekk-Knight special summoning at the end of the turn, whereas opposed like the Draconet stuff, you have to wait till after you do all the non-summoning, like after late in your turn, to be able to go for a card like purple and resolve it then. So we give them the Ibly, and here we'll be able to do the lockdown play with the Timeaton. So those 3 cards in that column there, we'll summon the Timeaton here, and then we'll link these and do a copy of Morningstar, and then we'll use this here to special summon the purple Nightfall, banish that for blue sky, and then I'll grab Red Moon off this blue sky because it's just showing you that we have the option to get rid of this Ibly if we don't want them to have it. This is just sort of like a nice lockdown though. They cannot special summon anything other than links, and they don't have the ability to go into the extra monster zone even if they had a link summon to make. So we would just make this, and then if you wanted to get rid of it, you could just special summon this here, banish the blue star, and destroy it. But we're going to use the Morningstar effect here to discard this to add a copy of Secrets from our deck to our hand. Find it, we just set that, still having a Draconet follow-up for next turn, and the ability to be able to negate 2 monster effects on top of everything else, and locking them out of their extra monster zone, and they cannot special summon any monsters other than link monsters, and we have the Draconet follow-up for next turn, drawing another memory for turn. This is coming back, and we just pop off even harder from there, and probably just OTK. So yeah, that is it for that hand. We've done a bunch of going first hands. Let's go ahead and wrap it up with a going second test hand and see what we can draw into. And watch, this is the hand that will brick when we're trying to go second. The irony. Alright, so the deck has been shuffled. Let's draw into our hand. We draw purple Nightfall and Indigo, already looking strong for a going second hand. The Red Moon, and our 6th and final card is a copy of Secrets. So going second, this hand is not bad. Now, assuming our opponent has given us 1 card. Let's say it's in the center column here. Let's say it's just 1 set monster. Just at a minimum. Worst case scenario, they only give us 1 card to work with. So even if it is a trap, we can play Key here to start. Give us that column, and if there is a trap there, they cannot activate it in response because Purple Nightfall is in there in that column while it is trying to activate. So from here, we will go and grab Blue Sky, and Blue Sky's effect will activate here to grab any Mekk-Knight monster. Now, this is an example where, of course, if our opponent only had 1 set card, we have no other ways to make a column of our own. So we have to grab a card like Mekk-Knight Avram here. This is why I really like Avram. So we would normal the Avram, link him away into a copy of Link Spider. Told you that it had a use. Definitely had a use in this deck. I really think you should at least play 1 check this out in this deck. Then we will set the secrets here, special summon the Red Moon, and then use it if we need to, but looks like we're probably not going to here in this point. Discard this for that, and then we can go ahead and grab a copy of Whispers here since we already have secrets. Now, we'd probably want to put this in attack position, and ideally we can't put on too much damage with this hand because we didn't really open up any other good combo starters to generate a ton of advantage. I mean, the purple play with the Blue Sky is good, but I mean, with this field, we're better off just poking with what damage we can and then just stalling them and stunning them completely next turn by being able to negate monster spells and traps and negate anything they have in their graveyard. And then we just completely kill them next turn because we draw a succession per turn. This is coming back. Ideally, this went off and this is on the field, and maybe this is up and we boost something up, and we succession this back, and like that's, you know, Boral Sword right here plus all that is just turbo game, and we have called by for anything they have to say about it. So yeah, a pretty successful test hand video there. And I think this build is definitely 100% ready to go to a tournament. I probably will take this to the next locals that I go to once I get back from vacation. And really looking forward to how that goes. If I do really well, you guys can expect like maybe a tournament report or something. I haven't done one of those in a very, very long time. But yeah, so that's it for this test stand video for pure Mekk-Knights. Hope you guys enjoyed. Drop me a like if you did, and leave me a comment as well if you maybe had any other ways I could have played out those hands differently, because I'm sure there is probably tons of ways I could have played them out. And yeah, join Discord as well, and check out Imperium Duelist 2. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, WinnerKill signing out. We'll see you guys in the next one.